Been getting a lot of questions in my comments about what is underpainting and how to underpaint. Basically, it's just a technique that is going to allow you to see dimension underneath your foundation. So it's giving it a smooth, seamless transition, kind of like that lit within look. Good for people that have a hard time blending in their contour, their bronzer, their blush. Even though the technique makes it look like it's easy, sometimes it's not as easy as it looks. Many times when people are applying their blush, their contour, and their concealer on first, and then they apply their foundation on top, they're losing all the color that they just laid down. I'm going to show you how to prevent that. When I'm underpainting, I like to lay down dark colors. I'm using Anastasia Color Shadow for my contour. I'm only going to slightly blend my contour. Just making sure I blend this into my hairline. Now, be careful of not blending too much like my ash usually does. Sometimes I get a little blend happy. Make sure you don't blend your colors in too much. You're not going to get the true visual of underpainting. And I always use a dark blush. I'll either use a powder blush or a cream blush. This is e.l.f. Cinnamon. Yes, it is dark, and I want it that way. I'm putting on more of a flesh tone concealer. I'm going to add a brightening concealer in this area, wherever I want stuff drawn out, putting it here to give my old ass a lifted look. I do like to use a setting spray before I put my foundation on. Make sure you're not using something that's like 24-hour hold. I don't want anything too drying underneath my foundation. If you're going to be using a powder contour or bronzer and a powder blush, you may be able to skip this step. Just going to blend in my blush a little, just a teeny bit. Now, even though this is underpainting, I'm still going to avoid crease street, which is right the fuck here. It's going to drag it down to the bright area. I like having brightness right here because light draws things out, so it makes my folds look like they're not falling into my mouth. Typically, I do color correct and neutralize unwanted pigment under my eyes, but I just forgot today. I love being old. Slightly tapping and blending. I'm not doing a crazy blend because foundation is going to go over top of this. Look at that. It can look as messy as you want. This is what it's supposed to look like. Your foundation is going to play a really big role in your underpainting experience. Use something light to medium coverage. I have seen people start using a powder foundation, whatever works for you. In my opinion, it really should be light to medium, even almost sheer. You want all this to peek out from under your foundation. I like using MPH, Mary Phillips. I wish I could do a half pump with this. Quick, that's it. This may even be too much. I'll either use Mary Phillips MPH brush, a feathering brush, or I will use the pure brush. Fluffier, the better. And see how this is running? That's the kind of foundation that I want on my face when I'm underpainting. Oh, also, I do use one shade lighter. I work it in my brush. I'm going to tap it in the area where there's no contour or no blush first. Just tapping. Remember, less is more. You can always buffer it in, swipe it in, tap it in, however you want, whatever makes you feel comfortable. I should have showed you this one first. This is great if you're new, a smaller brush, because you can get into areas that you can't get into with a bigger brush. I'm not using any additional product on this brush. I'm actually even going to wipe some off. You still can use your small brush. Now I'm going to tap over my blush and my contour. Or bronzer, whatever you're using. And this is how it should look. You still can see my contour, my blush. Things look seamless, smooth. You don't know where the blush is starting, where it's ending. I always like to go back in and use a standout sponge just to press my foundation in so I can have that ultimate melt. You can either just throw some setting powder on your mascara and just call it a day, or you can add a little more powder blush, do some finishing touches. I personally like finishing touches.